It is frigid in Ames, Iowa. That steam you see coming out of the chimney back there. But in this building, Hilton Coliseum, it's going to be a hot afternoon of Big 12 basketball. Welcome inside Hilton Coliseum, one of the great venues for college basketball, where today the Kansas Jayhawks, unbeaten in conference play, invade to take on the Cyclones of Iowa State, a team that's been unbeaten on their home court. Hi, everybody. I'm Fred White. Our analyst is Paul Splittorff. And Paul, if you want to be good on the road in conference play, you better have a guy to take care of the ball, and KU has that guy.
KU's been pretty good on the road. Of those 5 wins, 3 of them have come away from Allen Fieldhouse. So you take a look at what's working. Well, nothing working any better for the Jayhawks than their point guard Aaron Miles, playing just like you want your point guard to play. Looking for the pass first, looking to run when the opportunity presents itself, averaging just over 10 points per ball game, just under 10 assists per ball game. So he's getting it done both ends of the floor for the Jayhawks. Not a guard in the country playing better than him.
As great as Kansas has been in conference play, they've had troubles in this building before. We'll see what transpires this afternoon. Like this. Wayne Simien is always in there. Aaron Miles at the point. Jeff Graves, Keith Lankford, and J.R. Giddens, a freshman, in the starting lineup for Kansas. Wayne Morgan, first year as the head coach at Iowa State. They've done well. They're 12-4, and they are 3-2 in the conference. And Wayne Morgan will send his 5 out like this. Jackson Vroman, Curtis Stinson, Jared Homan, and Jake Sullivan, along with Marcus Jefferson, in the starting lineup in place of Will Blalock, who is late for the shoot-around today and will not get the start. The Iowa State faithful, boy, they make up a great crowd here in Ames. You talk about Hilton Magic, you've heard about it down through the years. It's real. There's the big lead in the series history for Kansas. But here in Hilton Coliseum, Iowa State has won 17 of 32 matchups. Some great Kansas teams have come in here and been beaten by Iowa State.
None of the recent Kansas teams have had problems in this building. They want to continue that trend. Kansas normally gets off to a quick start even on the road. Iowa State needs to be ready for that. And the Cyclones will start out in a 2-3 zone defense. They've zoned everybody over the last few weeks.
There's a lob to the backcourt. They've got Simien under the bucket. He got jammed. Down in there, Vroman got a hand on it, and so did Homan. Well, he drew a crowd as soon as he saw the ball at the baseline.
And Iowa State gets a ton of blocks throughout the course of the ball game. They're up among the leaders in the Big 12 Conference. In fact, they are first, averaging about 6.5 blocks per ball game. And Homan gets his share.
Boy, Vroman down inside was backing in. He got called for a foul. Vroman trying to back it down in the lane, got whistled for a foul. Not a good start for Iowa State there.
And they need to stay out of foul trouble, especially up front. No push off right there, just backing it down low. Vroman can't believe he drew the whistle.
Giddens, Simien. Miles, who had a dozen assists against Kansas State his last time out.
Iowa State looks like they want to defend from the inside out, force Kansas to shoot from the outside. Overall this season, they haven't shot well from three-point range, but in conference play, they're at about 38% from three-point range.
Sullivan got a look, in and out. Both sides had tough shooting luck. Giddens couldn't get the ball, neither could Sullivan. And there's a lob intended for Giddens, and off the glass, Lankford to the baseline. Got no, rejected in there.
Homan with another block. Played 38 minutes the other night after missing the previous game at Baylor. Now with a bad ankle. Healthy his last time out, healthy today.
Vroman too deep, got blocked down in there by Simien, and Graves was there. We're having a block party out here.
And a lot of pushing and shoving going on inside already. Both these teams intent on establishing their strength on the low blocks. Kansas headed for the rim, as are the Cyclones.
Jefferson, Stinson. Down low, Vroman. Boy, he's a warrior inside. Now Homan got an open look. Got it. First bucket of the ball game to Jared Homan.
Iowa State has 3 players averaging in double figures. Homan really looking good on the offensive end this year for Iowa State.
And Homan playing with a bad ankle. Sprained it in the Iowa game, missed a game, and came back so strong last week. And now a foul at the other end is going to go against Kansas. A reminder that the Phillips 66 Women's Basketball Tournament is March 9th through 13th at Reunion Arena in Dallas. On those dates, plan to see both the men's tournament at American Airlines Center as well as the women's tournament. Brought to you by Phillips 66, a longtime supporter of Big 12 men's and women's basketball.
Stinson will run the Cyclones offense. Remember, Will Blalock, their outstanding freshman point guard, does not make the start in today's game.
Turnover picked off by Lankford as Vroman tried to throw it inside to Homan. And now at the other end, Aaron Miles and this. Lankford with the offensive board brings it back out. That foul a moment ago, incidentally, was on Jeff Graves.
Rebounds will be a huge number here this afternoon. Iowa State has only out-rebounded one opponent in Big 12 conference play. That was Missouri by 1. Kansas has had trouble on the boards as well.
That was Keith Lankford flashing down the baseline for the jam.
Set up that time for Lankford on that drive. He's able to get it all the way to the rim.
We are tied at 2 as Vroman goes to work. Kicks it back out to Jefferson. Now Sullivan, and Lankford is out defending Sullivan. Vroman against Simien down low. Wide open in the circle is Stinson. The shot doesn't go. The tip by Jefferson, no. Homan up, no. And Aaron Miles, the guard, grabs the rebound.
Terrific looks for Iowa State. Jefferson with the tip-in attempt. Homan with the stick back. Both of them missed.
Ball is out of bounds to Iowa State. KU turns it over.
Kansas got the ball in their last possession all the way to the rim. You see the screen down low by Graves, just backing Homan right out of there to open the driving lane for Lankford.
1 for 5 from the floor for Kansas, 1 for 5 for Iowa State. Some of that defense, but Iowa State just missed some great looks down at their end.
The 2 close-in looks in the previous possession. Jake Sullivan had a wide open 3.
Stinson, Sullivan, ball knocked out of his hand. They scramble for it. Sullivan saves it to Homan to Stinson.
Lankford has the defensive assignment, man-to-man against Jake Sullivan.
Stinson with a pull-up too strong. Homan battling, got the board back. Jefferson's got a look. That's off the heel of the rim. Lankford chases down the rebound to Miles. Now Lankford, long try, got it. A 3-pointer for Keith Lankford. He has all 5 KU points.
Good 3-point percentage for Lankford this year. 37% coming in. 19 points his last time out against K-State. Also had half a dozen rebounds, 5 assists. He does it all for the Jayhawks.
You give Sullivan that look, you're dead. Jake Sullivan knocks down a 3. What a great shooter he has been throughout his career. 40% 3-point shooter this year. We're tied at 5. Lob down low. And Padgett can't handle it. It's out of bounds. We have a break. With 19:14 left in our first half, we are tied at 5, and we're back after this from your friends at Phillips 66. This ESPN Plus game is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. By Phillips 66, proud sponsor of the 2004 Phillips 66 Big 12 Basketball Tournament. You can count on Phillips 66 quality Pro Clean gasoline. By GMC, we are professional grade. And by Sonic, it's not just good, it's Sonic good. Well, the shooting's not much, but the game is good. We're tied at 5 at the first break here today. Both clubs off to a cold shooting start. Give the defenses some credit in that. They've missed some open looks, yeah, but most of them have been contested, and whenever the ball comes inside ball, it really turns into a contest.
Fred, it looked like a couple fighters kind of sparring to open up a boxing match that first round, kind of see how your opponent is going to set up. What are they going to try to do? Kansas doing a nice job of working their big men along the baseline. Gone to the high lob 3 different times already. Keith Lankford has been a factor in the game. Great in transition. Had the dunk just a minute to throw a go.
You mentioned him knocking down the 3. He's added that to his game this year, and what a difference it can make for him. Now a little full court pressure from Kansas. Stinson is going to bring it up, now get to Jefferson. They're still in backcourt with it. Now Stinson.
Normally more effective over at that wing guard position rather than out front. Iowa State's going to turn it over.
They're trying to get it back to Stinson, and he didn't pick it up. Rolls into backcourt. Kansas gets it back. 3 turnovers charged to Iowa State now, and 3 to Kansas. Again, the Cyclones pack it back in that zone. Simien.
Talk about packing it back in the zone. When they have played effectively, they've been active in that defensive zone.
4 turnovers, KU. They just fired that one into the Iowa State bench.
So I'm telling his Jayhawks, they pass it from over your head. You get a better angle trying to get over the top of the zone that way. 2-1-2. 3-quarter court trap for Kansas.
Vroman to Homan. Top, Stinson, open look, in and out. That would have been a 2 had he gotten it. Didn't get it. Now here comes Aaron Miles on the run, trying to beat that zone back. Michael Lee pops the jumper off the heel of the rim. High to grab the rebound. Marcus Jefferson for Iowa State. They're 3-on-2 and tipped away by Lankford. Out of bounds. Touched last by Iowa State, though. Wow.
Wayne Morgan talked yesterday of the areas his team has to improve. He said, we need to be a better running team. And to get that done, we've got to play better on the defensive end, do a better job on the glass. That will key the running efforts. They were able to get that rebound and got it to the offensive end, but turn it over.
These two teams have changed, Paul. Last year, Iowa State was more of a running team. This year, more defensive-minded. And KU the other way around. And so now they like to run. It's KU more defensive-minded now than they were under Roy Williams, and they love to just get out and run.
Probably going to be tough to run on Iowa State because one of the things they haven't changed is as soon as the shot goes up on their offensive end, they release 2 players. They're going to have 2 back from the beginning. Shot clock winding down. It's at 5.
Long try, Miles, no good. Stinson with the board. Kansas now 2 for 8. Iowa State 2 for 10. Homan had a notion, didn't pull the trigger on it. Sullivan will. You give him a notion, he'll pull the trigger. That one's too strong. And Jefferson grabs the offensive board.
Marcus Jefferson's done a nice job on the glass early on here this afternoon. He's a senior, not as big and strong as some of the seniors in this league, but very athletic. He's a quick leaper.
He's 6'5" and has in Iowa State always had a very effective 6'5" player. Seems like they always have.
A lot of times that guy comes off the bench. Marcus Jefferson, normally the 6th man, gets the start here this afternoon.
Simien in the middle. Down low, Padgett got bumped, clears it back outside. Lankford, 3-point try, good. And Keith Lankford has 8 points in this ball game.
And credit that basket to superior ball movement. Ball went inside that time. That was not a black hole. It came back out, passed it around the perimeter, and got a wide open look.
Vroman, Sullivan. Iowa State has 5 offensive rebounds in this game. KU has 1. Homan double teamed. A dangerous pass. Jefferson, though, got a wide open look. Too strong. And neither side can get the lid off the basket. Now a scramble at the baseline. It's out of bounds to Kansas. Cooper Tire is proud to be the official tire for the Big 12 Conference. Cooper Tires. Don't give up the pen.
Jared Homan playing on a bad ankle. He missed their ball game at Baylor. Played 38 minutes his last time out against A&M. Had a huge night. Sprained his ankle, and you can even see the bruising above the tape. Actually, that's good news because they're trying to force that blood up his leg, not to where it's going to swell up at the ankle, make it tougher to run.
Is it better for him to stay on the floor and play than to get a break because the ankle will tighten up? They have to put an electric heat on that ankle when they take him out of a game. Foul against Iowa State.
And Fred, Kansas continues to work the backside of the zone. A little pick down there. Simien setting up inside. Guards out on the perimeter looking to pass over the top of the zone to one of the low post players.
Lankford.
Padgett into the ball game for the last couple minutes for Kansas. He's coming back from a stress fracture where he missed a couple games.
Freshman who's played well in it. Season now. Lankford, the pass too tall, and the Jayhawks turn it over for the 5th time today. Iowa State is at 1 of their last 10 field goal attempts. 2 for 13 for the day. Kansas 3 for 9. Neither team shooting it for sour apples right now.
If you're not shooting it well, that means there are going to be a lot of rebounds. So there's your opportunity to pick it up. You talk about Iowa State doing great on the offensive end.
Jake Sullivan knocked down the tray, and we're tied at 8 apiece.
Jake needed to hit that one. He was wide open. He had missed his last several. Now 2 for 5 from long range today. And that always gets Hilton fired up.
He's a shooter. Lankford. Homan with the board. And that comes Iowa State Cyclones. They've got Will Blalock in the game now. He's come off the bench. Staple, turnaround, no good. Paget for the board.
Staple just into the ball game. He is rapidly developing for Iowa State. Played 19 minutes his last game out. 5 points, 9 rebounds. 4 of his boards were on the offensive end. So he's getting more minutes all the time for the Cyclones.
Now Homan drives down another rebound, his 5th. And Blalock took it to the baseline. Interesting yesterday, Paul, Iowa State's coach, Wayne Morgan, unhappy at practice, ended practice early, but some of the players stuck around. And Jake Sullivan stayed about 3 hours and shot. We have timeout here, 11:41 left in our first half. 8-8 tie in Ames.
Ranked Louisville trying to avoid the upset bug at Freedom Hall, trailing Marquette most of the game until Brandon Jenkins hits the 3. It's the Cardinals on top 41-40, 15 minutes to play, and Rick Pitino is back on the sidelines for the Cardinals.
Thank you, Damien. That's good news. I think there was a lot of concern in college basketball when whatever was wrong with him came up. And it's good to see him back on the sideline. This has been an upset Saturday so far. We're waiting for Eddie Jackson, one of the officials, to come back. He had to go in and get some tape. Steve Olson and Rick Randall. That's Steve Olson. He and Rick Randall are still out there. And Eddie Jackson, one of the officials, had to go in and get some tape put on.
Officials would like to get the 3rd official if they can do it.
There's Eddie. Good official. This is a good crew we got in here today. Kansas City hosts first and second round NCAA tournament action again this March. And thanks to the pod seeding system, you can expect an area team to play in Kansas City. To get tickets to the games March 19th and 21st, go to www.big12sports.com or the Kemper Arena box office. Well, they got it right under the bucket to Staple, and he missed the shot. Graves was there defending. And they have called the foul on J.R. Giddens.
Iowa State got terrific movement on that inbounds pass. Set 3 really strong picks inside. It was that 3rd pick that opened up Staple headed for the rim.
Damien Staple, a 6'8" junior from Kingston, Jamaica. I think he thinks it's cold in Ames today.
How did they recruit him up here in the first place?
I don't know.
Wasn't a day like this.
It's going to get above 0 in Ames today, and that's big news here. It hasn't been there for a while.
Staple's been a good player. Energy off the bench over the last few weeks, starting to come on, especially on the offensive end. Averaged about 20 minutes their last 3 ball games. Now Iowa State showing a little half-court trapping action. 1-2-2 zone press.
Jeff Hawkins in the game for KU. There's the J.R. Giddens. Puts it on the floor, nowhere to go. Now Hawkins.
Still a zone defense for Iowa State, but a different look. This is a matchup zone. They want to keep ball pressure out front.
Giddens, a freshman, just buried that one. A 6'5" freshman from Oklahoma City's John Marshall High School. Makes it 11-10. Kansas by a point. That was Stinson in the lane to Sullivan. The shot on the rim won't go. Blalock got it back. Now Stinson, and he got it.
Kind of featuring the freshman the last 2 possessions. Giddens drills the 3, then the 2 freshmen from Iowa State. Blalock and Stinson showing you something about their game.
Iowa State by 1, and the crowd coming to life here in Hilton Coliseum. Paget, top of the circle, put it on the deck, floats it up and got it. David Paget, the 6'11" freshman from Reno, Nevada, whose dad is a coach.
Iowa State was going to give him that shot from the top of the key. And elected to get a little closer to the basket. Another outstanding looking first-year player in this Big 12 conference.
Now it's 13-12 Kansas. Got it inside to Staple. The shot didn't go. He's got it back. He's fouled. Will they count the bucket? No. The foul on the baseline before the shot went up. Damien Staple staying with it, getting the shot away. At the foul against Michael Lee of Kansas.
Are these 2 teams ready to play some basketball here today? Every shot going up, especially inside, is contested. One is blocked. Staple there working, but the hold on Lee before the ball left the floor.
Interesting note here, the KU has only 1 offensive rebound so far in this game. In the last 3 games, Iowa State has given up 50 offensive rebounds to their opponents. Now today, that zone is blocking Kansas off the boards after the shot. It's been 1 and done. Stinson, Sullivan. The Hawkins come out on defense, knock the ball loose. Sullivan saves it. Now Stinson, 16 on the shot clock.
Iowa State goes with a 3-guard offense. 3 out, 2 in.
9 to shoot for Iowa State. They need to reset the offense, and Blalock takes it over in the lane. Got a look at Stinson, in and out, and down with the rebound, Jeff Graves for Kansas.
An unselfish basketball for Iowa State. 3 different players had the shot that time. Took a wide open 3 after a couple solid passes.
Simien takes it off the baseline. No good. Stinson, the freshman, clears the board. Sullivan running wide open on this side. Got a shot. Hit the deck. No foul called, and here we go the other way. Iowa State really hustling back in that zone. Now Simien got it inside and got fouled by Vroman. The second foul on Jackson Vroman. As Simien hit the bucket, his first points of the game. And KU goes up by 3. Let's take a moment now to thank our Big 12 corporate partners, 7-Up, and your local 7-Up bottler. Make 7-Up yours.
Kansas converting on that high-low. When Bill Self came to this program, he talked about a more physical style of play. He liked to work the high-low. He's got a couple big bodies out there working right now with Wayne Simien on the floor along with Jeff Graves.
Jackson Coleman sits down with 2 fouls, 9:17 left in the first half. Simien completes the 3-point play, and now Jake Sullivan is on the bench for Iowa State also. He's playing through a bad ankle. Had ankle surgery last summer, and it hasn't recovered completely. 4-point lead for Kansas, the biggest lead so far today. Blalock fouled by Lankford.
And Fred, when you look at the personnel on the floor for Iowa State right now with Jake Sullivan over on the bench along with Jackson Vroman, you say, where does the offense come from? Well, you look at Jared Homan, the 6'9" junior center on the low blocks. You look at the 2 freshmen out front, Blalock and Stinson. This is eventually going to be their team. But Jake Sullivan on the bench right now. It's their team right now.
Blalock's first point. Our time now for the GMC professional grade player profile. And look at all the players from these 2 schools that are playing professional basketball. Look at that list from Kansas and 4 for Iowa State.
How about the talent level of that list? Not just numbers.
Yeah. Will Blalock got them both. Iowa State down by 2, applying pressure. Now they hustle back into the zone, and Giddens with a long 3 that won't fall. Rebound, Damien Staple.
Himself a little disgusted with that shot. Long-range shot came early in the possession. They can get that shot anytime they want.
Well, Staple attacking the glass on the miss, but couldn't get it. Lankford got a little bit of rim and not much more, and Staple clears the board. Look at Iowa State run. Will Blalock took it in a circle.
Great defensive work by Keith Lankford there. You stop the break by stopping the dribble drive, and Lankford set up right in the middle of the lane, flattened out the ball handler. Get him going side to side or pass it out to the wing. Gives everybody in a blue jersey time to get back on defense.
8 minutes left in what has been a very active but low-scoring first half. Jefferson. Homan couldn't get it there.
Kansas can back off a little bit, pack it inside without that long-range shooter on the floor.
A second on the shot clock as they get it going, and it hits the rim, so no turnover. Now Miles to the board. Long pass. Simien couldn't control it. Tried to tip it in and couldn't. Back comes Iowa State. We got a horse race going on.
Iowa State is looking to run, and Kansas is doing a solid job of getting back defensively, as the Cyclones are doing by releasing 2 when the shot goes up.
Almost like they're playing without a basketball. They're running up and down furiously, and the ball's not going in the basket. Now Jefferson tried to get it to Homan, knocked away.
Good active defense by Jeff Graves that time. He got his hand in the passing lane, made it difficult for Homan to see it.
How about Iowa State 4 for 22? Kansas not shooting well, but considerably better than that. Miles, Lankford. Lankford can move in the lane. A little short with that try, and Homan hit the deck, and his ankle may be hurt again. He fell over a couple of players in there, and Homan went down and grabbed his ankle, which has already been hurting. 7:06 to play. We're back after this from your friends at Phillips 66. Walked back to the huddle, but he kind of grabbed that injured ankle as he went down.
Anytime bodies hit the floor like they just did, you're always afraid that somebody's going to roll up the back of your leg and possibly turn your ankle. When he sprained his ankle, he just rolled it. He didn't step on anybody's shoe coming down from a rebound. He just rolled his ankle. That was in the Iowa ball game. He left with about 6 minutes left. The Cyclones immediately went on a run. The battle for the boards right there, and just over the fallen Keith Lankford. No ankle caught underneath Lankford.
Kansas with the basketball, leading by 2. Lankford Giddens lets it fly from the top of the circle. That's a three. Giddens has his second tray. He's a 36% three-point shooter on the season.
Easier to bring first-year players along when you've got him surrounded with solid talent. Giddens, a terrific athlete, showing us some range here this afternoon.
Jake Sullivan. Homan. We need to do a little housekeeping here and tell our affiliates that the next break is all at break 24. Simien turnaround hook. No good. The ball just won't go in the basket, that's all. Kansas is at 7 out of 20 shots, 4 for 23, make it 24. Iowa State. They get the offensive board, though. Stinson able to save it.
His 5th rebound of the afternoon. He gets about a half a dozen per game. So while he's a guard, he's also a guard that crashes the boards.
Kansas up by 5, and Iowa State backs the ball out on offense now. Resets that offense. Sullivan against Hawkins, and Hawkins blocked the shot. Now up it goes to Lankford. He's got Simien with him. Lankford works the lane and gets the shot down. 10 points for Lankford.
He is a left-handed shooter, so he's working to a strong hand right there when he took it down the lane. And how about the defensive work by Hawkins? Stinson trying to break him down, or Jake trying to break him down, take him into the lane.
Homan draws a double team, trying to move it. Sullivan wide open. Great look on in and out. And Sullivan having some tough shooting right there. He is 2 for 9 from the floor, 2 for 7 from behind the arc today. And he is a terrific shooter, not getting the roll today.
Both teams doing an outstanding job of double teaming the post when he gets the basketball. There was a very difficult outlet pass that time down for Homan.
Lankford against Staple. Now Giddens against Blalock. They tried to get it to the baseline to Simien and threw it past him and out of bounds. Clock stops here with 5:02 left in the first half. Kansas with a 7-point lead, and that is the biggest lead of the game so far. Break 24 coming up for our affiliates. Timeout here, and we'll be back after this message from your friends at Phillips 66.
This is Upset Saturday in the Pac-10. Arizona taking on Washington State, and the Wildcats ranked 9th, down now 17-12 thanks to Marcus Moore. Dick Bennett is the coach out there now. Fred, Florida, Louisville, and UConn also losing right now.
We are back. And Miles, the point guard for Kansas. Well, both ball clubs, as we mentioned, not shooting it well. Iowa State 1 field goal in the last 6:03. You saw Stinson had their last bucket. They missed 10 shots in a row. Jake Sullivan, normally a great shooter, 2 for 9, came out during that timeout, stood there, looked at the rim, and then kind of slapped his hands like, let's get it going here. You might want to bet that he'll knock down his next open look. That's him with the ball.
The way they are covering him this afternoon, he's going to step out to pretty good depth to try to find that open shot. They got to hurry now. It's 2 seconds left.
Jefferson. Good bucket.
Not a pretty possession, but an effective one. Iowa State come up with a big basket.
His first 2 points of the day. 5-point lead, Kansas. They work against the zone. Michael Lee, Miles, baseline. Inside, Jeff Graves had it blocked and then was fouled on the second attempt. That was Homan committed to foul, his first. Jared Homan, the 6'9" junior from Remsen, Iowa. And that's his first foul.
For as many shots at Homan blocks, he doesn't get in much foul trouble. It's because he keeps his hands pretty well straight up. He doesn't swipe at the basketball like so many shot blockers do.
Jeff Graves got it. Let's take a moment now to thank our Big 12 corporate partner, Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade. It's in college basketball. Is it in you? You know, Homan's interesting. He's pretty fundamental down there, too. You mentioned getting his hands straight up. He doesn't lunge at people a lot in there either. He stays straight up and down and holds his ground.
Kansas wants to do a good job from the free throw line here this afternoon. Just 62% against Colorado. Their last time out, K-State, 64%. They'd like to be up at 70% or higher.
That might have been an inadvertent tip in by Vroman. Padgett will get credited for the bucket, I believe. He was the closest to it, but that might have been Vroman that tipped it in accidentally. Now an 8-point lead to Kansas, and the Jayhawks working hard on defense. They try to throw it inside, knocked out of there, picked up by Michael Lee. And the Jayhawks attacking. Miles lob, Graves inside, blocked by Homan. His third block of the day. 3 minutes 44 seconds left in first half action. Low scoring game. 24-16. Kansas up by 8 over Iowa State at the break. And again, Kansas up by 8, the biggest lead of the ball game so far. And Phillips 66 is proud to be the presenting sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Be sure to stop by your local Phillips 66 station and fill up with quality Pro Clean gasoline. Only from Phillips 66, the performance brand. 3:44 to play in first half action. Action has been heated. The shooting has been cold. Kansas has forged that 8-point lead. Boy, they have been terrific on the road. They have won 17 of their last 19 conference road games, including 9 in a row going back to last year. Miles at the top of that zone. Now Lee.
All the guards on the perimeter for Kansas continue to look inside, especially Aaron Miles. Looking for that pass, looking for guys on that low blocks, and they're going to be patient. Shot clock's down at 5.
They got Padgett and Graves back there. Lee cuts loose a long 3. Michael Lee.
Kansas missed him earlier this year. He was out with a shoulder injury, and they lost a couple ball games during that stretch. Everybody gave them the 3-point shot at that time. Lee, their highest percentage shooter, coming back from a season ago.
Homan had the ball knocked out of his hands at the baseline. The Cyclones will play it in. Simien and Lankford return to the lineup for Kansas. Hawkins and Graves for that.
A lot of contact inside. Great dribble drive by Blalock.
Now Blalock, now Sullivan.
Game really getting physical inside. Guys starting to throw it around.
Vroman had a pass knocked out of bounds with 15 on the shot clock. Jackson Vroman has not scored so far today. Upset Saturday in college basketball. Marquette getting ahead of Louisville now. St. Joe's beating Temple. That was not an upset, but boy, think of what's gone on today so far. Clemson beat North Carolina. Vanderbilt has defeated Kentucky. Charlotte has defeated Cincinnati. Right there it is. There's just a lot of upsets so far today. And now Homan double teamed and fouled. They're looking at David Padgett. Nope, they didn't get him.
Got Simien on the double team help.
Vroman or Homan see it inside. They get company, don't they?
Well, and it comes quick. And it comes with the strong setup. Simien that time hands straight over his head, but still moving at the point of contact. And Homan, one of the better free throw shooters on this team, although not going to shoot free throws yet. Non-shooting foul. Cyclones wanted to shoot a free throw right there because Homan shoots him at a 72% clip.
Well, Jake Sullivan missed that shot. He's really struggling from behind the arc.
And hard to imagine Iowa State given an opportunity to knock off Kansas without Jake Sullivan having a good shooting game.
There's Vroman with his first points of the day. And it's still a 9-point lead to Kansas. 2:25 left and a half in this crowd in Ames, trying to encourage the Cyclones and get them a rally late in the first half here. Miles. Lee, baseline, Padgett, blocked, knocked away inside, picked up by Jackson Vroman, and a foul on Wayne Simien, who bumped into him from behind. So the Cyclones trying to rally late in the first half. Here's what's coming up at halftime. We'll take you to Studio 66, and you'll talk about upset Saturday. You'll hear about a showdown in Texas, and we'll talk about Texas Tech looking to rebound today after that loss at home to Texas, and what a finish there was to that game. Now it'll be Jackson Vroman on the free throw line, a 47% shooter.
And a guy can get out and run the floor. How about Jared Homan? Did not get a blocked shot on that last rebound by Kansas, but he got a blocked outlet pass. That created the turnover.
No good. Tipped around. Padgett grabs it for Kansas. And the Jayhawks get the ball back with 2:05 left in the half, still leading by 9.
One of the reasons Kansas plays so well on the road is because of their strength of schedule that they play in preseason. They're not afraid to go away from Allen Fieldhouse to play people either. But there's nothing but help you when you get to conference play.
Lankford left hand won't go, slapped around. Who's got it? Jeff Graves for Kansas. Off the glass, no. And Vroman blocked out Lankford, got away with it. And Vroman brings it up, dish to Sullivan. Now Stinson, great look off target. Look at the battle on the boards. Graves had it. And it'll be Kansas basketball.
Jackson Vroman doing a great job of working hard on the blocks for Iowa State. How about that guy at 6'10" is leading the break. He's got it on the dribble coming down the floor. He set up one of the shooters from long range.
Really is a hard-working player, isn't he? A minute 24 left in the first half. Kansas still up by 9, attacking the zone.
A lot of rebounds there because we've had a lot of missed shots today.
Giddens looped it in and out. Lankford, tough rebound, can't hold on. Here comes Blalock trying to run the break. Good bounce pass. Vroman. Sullivan wide open, in and out. Cannot knock one down. Big Sullivan is 2 for 11.
He has been online. He's either been a little too long or a little too short, but online.
Giddens, Paget, Miles. Graves, a left-handed tip won't go, and Vroman clears the board. I'll bet you the coach will say at halftime to Jake Sullivan, Jake, keep shooting it. Stinson knocked to the floor, foul. He'll go to the free throw line. It's the old adage for a shooter: shoot if you're hot. If you're not hot, shoot till you get hot. Jake Sullivan will find the range before this day is over.
And Wayne Morgan told him just now, go ahead, keep shooting, relax, nice release. They'll start to fall soon.
Stinson's free throw good. He has 3 points. What was the Bill Self said about Jake Sullivan? If he gets 47 shots a day, he'll make 35 of them. I don't want him to get that many.
Right now, he is just 2 of 11 from the floor, 2 of 9 from three-point range. He hasn't forced any of those long-range shots. They've all been uncontested today.
Homan and Stinson coming out of the lineup now for Iowa State with 42 seconds left in the half. Stinson misses the free throw, and Kansas up by 8 may get the last shot of the half.
They may also look inside. Iowa State not very big up front.
Staple along that back line along with Reggie George. There they are. Magic converts it. Good call, partner.
Well, you got 3 backup players playing along the low side of that zone, so you know that Kansas is going to look at that portion of the floor.
30-second timeout called by the Iowa State bench here with 21 seconds left in the half, and Kansas holding a 10-point lead. Very low-scoring ball game so far today here in Ames. Kansas still leading the Big 12 with that 5-0 record. Texas won today. They're at 5-1. Tech at 4-1, as is Oklahoma State. Iowa State at 3-2. Missouri at 3-3, and Colorado. And the big game coming tonight involving that Texas Tech ball club against Oklahoma State. That could be one heck of a ball game.
That is a rematch from an opening weekend game played out in Lubbock. Oklahoma State really struggling on the road as Andre Emmett and the Red Raiders took charge in that ball game throughout the second half.
Andre Emmett had maybe the worst game of his career last time around when Texas beat him. Texas won a heck of an overtime game at Lubbock against them this week.
Iowa State changes their lineup now, get a little more scoring on the floor. Jake Sullivan's out there, Homan back into the ball game.
They're going to run something, it looks like, for Jake Sullivan or Blalock here. 12 seconds left in the half. There's Sullivan popped out to the wing, and Hawkins had him covered. Now Stinson throws it up, misses. Homan got the rebound, backed up and in for his 4th point, and he was fouled.
Great position that time by Jared Homan. He's working against the freshman out there, David Paget of Kansas. The pick was set. Look at him just move Paget out of the area. Got the inside position. He moved Paget about 8 feet higher up into the lane to get the rebound and the stick back, and a free throw to follow.
6 seconds left in the half. Now Kansas quickly getting J.R. Giddens, a long-range shooter, back on the floor. Homan at the line, 72% shooter. Iowa State down by 8. And still down by 8. Rebound. Bryant Nash for Kansas. Now Miles. 1 second left, and they throw it away. And the half arrives with Kansas still in front at 29-21. They are up by 8 on the road. They are playing tough basketball here. Again, neither side shooting it very well, but Kansas has the lead. Keith Lankford with 10 points, leading the way for the Jayhawks. 8-point lead to the Jayhawks here, 29-21. That's the story in Ames. Let's get you back to Doug Bell in Studio 66. Doug?
Fred, thank you. Kansas 20 minutes away from going 4-0 on the road in the Big 12. Earlier today, Texas does go 3-0 on the road in the Big 12 at Texas A&M.
Well, tremendous job by Texas. You know, they are so deep, and they were active on the offensive boards as well against Texas A&M. A&M had a little bit of success early. Nick Anderson coming in with the big rebound there, but, you know, this Texas team is so deep. Rick Barnes looking for Kenton Paulino to step up. He hits the three there. Brandon Mouton coming off that huge game against Texas Tech, a three on the outside, and the bench as well. Sidney Harris with the three. Texas goes on to win 69-59, but they can run 10 guys at you. Just tough to be able to stop that Texas team.
Texas now 5-1 in league play. A couple of home games coming up for them, Colorado and Oklahoma. Kansas leads Iowa State at the half by 8.
College basketball's 1988 Consensus Player of the Year, Danny Manning ended his brilliant career by leading the Jayhawks to the 1988 NCAA title. Manning was also a two-time Big 8 Player of the Year, two-time All-American winner, and winner of the Naismith and Wooden Awards. He is the all-time leading scorer and rebounder in Kansas history.
Welcome back to the ESPN Plus Halftime Report. And it's time to honor this week's Phillips 66 Classroom Champ. For convenience and value, it's at the top of the class, and honors go out to Aaron Miles with our 355 in Communication Studies. Now we move on to the top 25. Of course, at home today, Louisville Cardinals, number 4 in the country. Rick Pitino is back, and that's the best news. Taking on a tough Marquette team. Travis Diener, his neck is feeling better. Obviously, there's the shot. Brandon Jenkins. That puts Louisville back on top 41-40. But Steve Novak from downtown, it's a game of threes. They're raining them down.
And nobody better at the three than Louisville. They shot 415 of them coming into this game. But the strength of Louisville, to me, is the inside. Luke Whitehead, he's the guy that does all the dirty work for Louisville. Struggling, though, against Marquette.
That would be the shocker for me, Marquette over Louisville. Charlotte does beat Cincinnati. First time the 49ers have ever won at the Shoe in Cincinnati. Coach Huggy beside himself. Wake Forest, the one team in the top 25 that did not struggle as they bombed Virginia 91-78. Meantime, Ohio State over Purdue at West Lafayette 65-59. Good win for Jim O'Brien and the Buckeyes. Getting ready for the second half. Kansas against Iowa State. Sweltering D taking over for the Jayhawks. Second half, Kansas looking to go 6-0 in Big 12 play. We'll keep you abreast of all the scores right now. Marquette leads Louisville by 4 with 1:40 to play. Back out to Fred and Split right after this.
29-21, Kansas as we're set to start the second half here at Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa. Let's take a look at Shelter Insurance first half highlights.
Fred, how about the start that Keith Lankford got off to this afternoon? There's the three-point shot. There's his game driving to the basket. 10 points. He leads all scorers with the break. Jake Sullivan got a three early in the game, but he wasn't able to get much going after that. He's just 2 of 9 from three-point range. Both clubs having trouble running, but Jackson Vroman got it down there. And David Pageant working inside. Pageant played 14 minutes. Remember, he was hurt a few weeks ago. Picking up more minutes now for Kansas.
For your insurance needs, visit shelterinsurance.com to find the shelter agent near you. Seek shelter today. Paul, these two teams have been effective at shutting off the other team's big man. For Kansas, Wayne Simien had 3 points in the first half. Jeff Graves had 1. And David Pageant coming off the bench scored 6. Iowa State getting just 4 points from Jared Homan and 2 from Jackson Vroman. Add to that fact that the clubs aren't shooting well from the outside. There's Pageant blocking Homan down inside. They call it a jump ball, and the ball belongs to Kansas.
Well, you take a look at the stats. Neither team shooting it all that well, but Kansas 37% has stretched out their lead. Points in the paint. Kansas working it hard inside. Iowa State starts the second half trying to pound it inside as well. Iowa State played zone the entire first half. Matchup zone here to open the second half.
There's Simien drawing a crowd, missing the shot, and Stinson clears the rebound for Iowa State. Well, the defense against the big men has been effective, and now Stinson takes it all the way and converts. He has 5 points. And Iowa State down by 6 as we open the second half.
He had trouble driving that defense of Kansas the first 20 minutes. Found an open lane right there and was able to lay it in.
Aaron Miles kicks it to the corner. Lankford got a great look. Too strong with a try. And Vroman clears the rebound. Here comes Iowa State down by 6. And this crowd in Ames trying to get excited and get them going.
That was Lankford's first miss from long range in the ballgame.
He's such a much improved shooter. Sullivan draws Lankford. Now Homan trying to kick it to Vroman and taken away by Kansas.
That pass right there, right at the feet of Vroman. Great idea as the double team came from Vroman's side of the floor. He was wide open.
Paget sticks it from the top of the key. David Paget at 6'11", fired it in from the top of the circle.
He's pretty steady out to about 15, 16 feet. He'll take that shot as long as you leave him open, and he'll take that all afternoon.
Blalock. Picked up by Miles, got in the air. Now Homan with a wide open look. Jared Homan has a half dozen points.
Both teams like to go to the high-low, and if the high-low is going to be effective, whoever's up there at the high lane or at the free throw line has got to be able to bury that shot.
Iowa State's going to extend their defense a little bit here. Cyclones down 6, crowd making noise in Ames. Lankford, Miles, Giddens.
Iowa State's just trying to mix things up so all their zones look a little bit different.
Giddens, long try, and he nailed it. A 3 in his 3rd tray of the ball game. J.R. Giddens 3 from behind the arc now with 9 points on the day. Homan working hard on the baseline. Jump hook too strong. Rebound. Wayne Simien.
Solid defensive position that time by David Paget. Tough angle for that shot from Homan.
Miles, Giddens. Down low, Simien's got it inside, missed the shot, the battle. Paget slaps it back out to Miles, and Giddens open again. This time Sullivan clears the rebound for Iowa State. It's tough to find. That's Vroman inside and fouled as he made the bucket.
Iowa State got a break from the basket that time after Jake Sullivan came down with the rebound. One of the few advantages they've had in transition here this afternoon is a 3-on-2 break. They're able to finish it.
David Paget fouled him, his first foul. Jackson Vroman with his 4th point. And now we'll go to the free throw line, where he's really struggled this year. Just a 47% free throw shooter. Got that one completed to play. 6-point lead to Kansas. Crowd here in Ames is trying. They're on their feet, trying to get their ball club going. Kansas faces the Iowa State zone. Sullivan picks up Miles, spinning move in the lane, and a foul.
Kansas that time attacking the zone defense with David Paget up at the high lane, just above the free throw line. Guards rubbing across his pick. Aaron Miles open on the drive.
The foul on Will Blalock, and Aaron Miles will shoot 2.
Some pushing going away from the basketball that time down. Iowa State, Wayne Morgan not happy with the call.
Aaron Miles, 68% shooter. That's his first point of the game. His last 5 games, he has averaged 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists. He has been a hot player for Kansas. Today he has 5 assists in this ball game, but it's tough to come by because KU's only scored 13 buckets. Neither side has scored many baskets here. Will Blalock fired it to Vroman. That might light him up. He's got 5.
Well, Blalock just staying with his ball game, Fred. That's the dribble drive, and Vroman did a good job of being patient. He kept his spacing, stayed right along the side of the lane, so when the double team went over to take their ball handler, he was wide open on the blocks.
Giddens to Lankford, down inside, taken away by Vroman. Here come the Cyclones, down by 6, and trying to rally. Stinson takes him in the lane off the glass. And here come the Cyclones. They're within 4. And listen to the crowd in Hilton Coliseum. They are heating up here. 16:20 left in this game. We're back after this from your friends at Phillips 66. Kansas with a long way to go here after a very cold shooting first half, shooting just 21%. The Cyclones have hit 5 of their last 6 shots, and Paul, if they get Sullivan open again and he sticks the shot, he's going to have trouble. This crowd may really erupt in here.
And Fred, no coach likes to take a timeout and a half before that first media timeout, but Bill Self didn't feel he could go another 20 seconds the way Iowa State was playing, so he was forced to use a timeout before that first 4-minute break.
Lankford puts it on the floor in heavy traffic, and a foul was called on the floor before they got the pass down to the bucket. Now it goes against Iowa State. They shut off Lankford as he tried to drive it into the lane.
Vroman picks up his third, so starting to get in some foul trouble now.
Third comes with 16:05 to play, and we'll see if they decide to keep him on the floor.
And let's see if Kansas goes right after him. Not good defensive reaction that time by Iowa State, as Lankford was not only able to take that ball to the middle of the floor, but take it to the front edge of the rim.
12 points now for Keith Lankford. And Kansas stretches the lead back to a half dozen. But Blalock got in the air with nowhere to go. He still has the ball, though. And now drops it inside to Homan. Missed, and Vroman stuffs it back in.
A little pick and roll with Jared Homan. And Vroman crashing the offensive glass.
Jackson Vroman is attacking now. He has 7 points in the second half. And again, a 4-point game, and listen to the crowd trying to work that Hilton Magic. Graves off balance. And a foul against Graves. Travel call, excuse me, not a foul. They called traveling. This crowd's alive. 15-19 to play, and we've got a game going in Ames.
Eastern Conference, Kentucky and South Carolina have already lost, and it looks like Florida may be the third top 25 team in the SEC to lose. Tennessee leads with 4 seconds to go by 2. Back out to Fred and Split. Guys?
Kansas up by 4. Iowa State attacking with more ferociousness there in the second half, shooting the ball a little bit better. They were down at halftime by 8. Now they're back within 4. Kansas has held the lead since the early part of the game. Blalock against Lankford.
Fred in the second half, Iowa State is 6 of 9 from the floor. Jake Sullivan hadn't had a look yet, and not taking a shot here in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Might be time for Iowa State to change that.
They just ran him off a double pick, but the ball is on the other side of the floor. He's working for it. Got a shot. Got a look. Got it. There it is.
And there's the noise you were talking about.
It's now a 1-point ball game, and Sullivan may just run 5 or 6 in a row now that he found the range.
Boy, it's a good thing Giddens is long. He's out there at 6'5". He just saved that ball from going over the Kansas bench.
Simien had it on the rim. It wouldn't fall for him. Iowa State could take the lead. Stinson got it knocked loose, taken away. Big steal by Keith Lankford for Kansas.
And a good defensive stand by Kansas, because Stinson wanted to take that one to the rack.
Lankford blocked by Homan, his 5th block of the game. They're 2-on-1, and the lob to Blalock won't go. Simien grabs the board.
Great idea, but high degree of difficulty for a guard to finish that shot.
Giddens, long way to go here. 14 minutes left in this game as Graves stuffs one. Kansas with an answer. Jayhawks by 3, 40-37 over Iowa State with 13:52 left in the game. The action is heated. Vroman threw it away. It was between Sullivan and Blalock, and neither one of them could catch it. So the Cyclones turn it over. Kansas gets it back, still leading by 3.
Wayne Morgan is setting his offense, trying to get Jake Sullivan open, but the guy who's doing a super defensive job for Kansas is Aaron Miles. He just leaves the floor to get a little bit of a rest. Now on the floor for the Jayhawks, Jeff Hawkins. He's also a solid on-ball defender.
Got a block on Sullivan earlier in the game. Simien.
Kansas continues to work one of their post players behind that zone defense of Iowa State.
Lankford drops it inside to Graves. The shot won't go. Tough shooting left for Graves. Vroman gets it to Blalock. 13:21 left in this game as they take it into Vroman. He's fouled, and the bucket's going to count. Jackson Vroman with 9 points in the second half, and he could go to the line and tie the game right here.
Kansas now missing some shots that Iowa State was missing in the first half. Great looks inside, can't finish. How about Blalock with the little dump back feed right there? Blalock continues his dribble. Nobody stops his dribble. Here comes Vroman.
Wayne Simien now has 3 fouls. Vroman, as I mentioned earlier, has had shooting problems at the free throw line, a 47% shooter. Knocked one down earlier in this half. Free throw good, game tied. And we'll tell you that Chick-fil-A did not invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. tie ball game, 40 apiece with 13:10 to play.
Bill Self encouraging his team pass the ball. He wants to swing it side to side. Try to get some angles inside for the close-in pass.
Lankford, hard work, blocked in there. Homan got another one. Maybe that was Vroman. That was 6 blocks now for Jared Homan. He had 7 his last game. And now has 58 on the season.
And what is so is amazing is the number of blocks he gets and still no foul trouble.
Yeah. Homan today has committed 1 foul. Let's tell you again that Chick-fil-A did not invent the chicken, but they did invent the chicken sandwich. Homan now has 13 blocks in his last 2 games, 6 of them here today. 12:59 to play in this one. We got a ball game going in Ames. Is this a great crowd? What an atmosphere.
Well, the crowd makes the difference in these venues. Certainly Hilton Coliseum along with Allen Fieldhouse and Gallagher Arena at Oklahoma State, 3 of the best certainly in this conference and in the country, but the crowd is what makes the difference. There are a lot of other arenas that look like this, but there aren't many of them that sound like this.
You know, it's going to test the poise of Kansas, and they have plenty of it. I mentioned that they've won their last 9 road games in conference play, going back to last year's score here the rest of the afternoon. Vroman is going to attack. Blocked by Padgett. So Padgett has returned the favor on the block for Kansas. Vroman is in attack mode, isn't he?
Yeah, that might freshman. Moves his feet pretty well, especially on the defensive end. Lee has the defensive assignment against Jake Sullivan.
Oh, what a nice soft shot by Curtis Stinson. His 9th point. Iowa State ahead for the first time since early in the ball game. Giddens, Padgett. Down low, knocked loose by Vroman out of bounds with 25 on the shot clock.
Kansas is having a hard time keeping up with that guy right there. Jackson Vroman, so active inside. Kansas has some big, strong players, but right now he's quicker than any of the frontline guys from Kansas.
First Iowa State lead since 11 minutes left in the first half. Vroman, really an interesting story. Went to 15 different high schools. Giddens a miss. Homan the rebound. Vroman's father was into service, and they moved a lot. He didn't get to play basketball till his senior year in high school. Stinson, his second quick bucket. He's got 11. The Cyclones lead by 4. And KU wants to talk about it.
Fred, you talk about guys attacking. When was the last freshman you saw attack as hard as Curtis Stinson? Wayman Tisdale?
Thinking probably.
Danny Manning?
We've got a live crowd here in Ames right now. Let's get you into Studio 66 in Doug Bell.
Fred, thank you. I wanted to give you the final in that game in Knoxville. This is the final seconds remaining. Tennessee up 65-63. The Gators got a decent look off front iron, so they go down. Number 5 Kentucky, number 20 Florida, number 23 South Carolina all lose today in the Southeastern Conference. Back out to you.
And who knows what's going to happen here today, but Iowa State working against number 12 Kansas, the first top 25 team that Iowa State has faced this year. And they are acquitting themselves well right now after a dismally cold shooting start today. Stinson now has hit 5 out of 5 shots in this half. Iowa State on a 12-2 run over the last 3.5 minutes. They've overcome an 11-point deficit at one time today, and they're in front by 4. And we'll see if Kansas can answer.
Lankford was the guy that had the hot hand early in the ball game, the guy that had the hot hand early in the second half for Kansas. Let's see which way they go.
Lob to Simien. He was fouled, pushed out of bounds.
If Vroman gets this foul, that's 4.
I believe it was him. That's his 4th foul, and it comes with 11:57 left in the game, and that'll be a problem for Iowa State. We have a break here. 11:57 left in our game. 4-point lead to Iowa State. Don't go away. 40, Iowa State leading Kansas, 11:57 to play. And Whataburger, well, just like you like him. That was Jackson Vroman leading the cheers from in front of the Iowa State bench. He has led the comeback here and now sits down with 4 fouls with 11:57 to play. He scored 10 points in the second half. Vroman has added 8.
And Iowa State will want the same kind of active play inside from Damien Staple. The junior out of Jamaica steps onto the floor for the Cyclones. He's also very athletic up front.
Very quick jumper and attacker in there. Heavy traffic for Lankford, and Miles can't stick it. Rebound. Lankford has it, kicks it back outside. Michael Lee, now Miles, now Lankford.
Lankford had that drive right where he wanted it, Fred, about 6 feet from the basket. Rarely do you see him get the ball in that part of the floor, pass it back outside. That was because of the presence inside of Homan.
What a big bucket for Wayne Simien in Kansas there. Just his 5th point of the game. Now the 2-point lead to Iowa State. Blalock, he's quick. To the rack he goes and had nowhere to go with it. Now Staple tied up with David Paget. They'll call it a jump ball in the possession arrow. Belongs to Iowa State. Blalock got a little out of control as he tried to attack the basket there.
Kansas normally influences to the baseline. They'll give you that baseline drive, anticipating double team help. But that time Blalock so quick, the double team never got there.
Now Stinson softly up with the left hand. So he can attack the rim.
Well, he's in there at 6'2", and that's what's surprising. He's a first-year player at this level, but able to go against bigger, stronger people and still find a way to get things done at the rim.
He has 10 points in the second half. Iowa State up by 4. Still 10:52 to play. Lankford, 3, and a big one. Keith Lankford now has 15 points.
That's poise right there.
He has a half dozen rebounds to go with him. Against KU, back within 1. Sullivan, they've had him shut down in this half. That's Homan working hard, scoops it up and gets it. 8 points for Homan.
Young players look at that. There are a lot of things you can do. Keeping your pivot foot on the floor.
Simien with the answer at the other end. His second quick bucket.
But you talk about guys improving their game from their sophomore year to their junior year. That's something Wayne Simien brings to the Jayhawk team this year that you didn't over the last couple of years. More shooting range.
48-47, Iowa State, 10 minutes to play. Homan, well, they are answering one another now. Homan has done it.
Just a little fade. He was able to get away from Wayne Simien. Paget was there. Good soft touch by Homan.
Iowa State working the zone. Miles attacking it. Simien has come outside and hit a couple of buckets. Lankford just made his last drive. That one won't go. Sullivan grabs the board, and they got a little careless with it. Kansas takes it away. They've got Michael Lee on the attack to Homan. Got it.
Oh, and Wayne Simien, what a pass he made from the back of his uniform. Sprawled out on the floor, was able to get it out of traffic to the streaking Michael Lee on the right wing.
Kansas down by a point now. 9:10 to play. Staple, Homan down low against Paget, turns, shoots, and won't go. And the rebound to Kansas. Michael Lee gets it to Aaron Miles. Jayhawks hunting the lead here.
Paget has been impressive on the defensive end here today.
Paget to miss.
Jared Homan is out of gas. They want to rest him or get a little media timeout.
But they're going to rest him right now. They're getting Reggie George set to come in the game. Also getting John Neal ready to come in. Blalock. Down low, Damien Staple, pump fake, jump, fires it down low to Homan.
Boy, did he stay with that play? A little pump fake, and Wayne Simien never took the fake. He kept his feet firmly planted on the floor. But Staple stayed with it and had the dump down pass to Homan for the finish.
Iowa State up by 3, 8:10 to play. Maybe both teams need a break. It's intense here right now. Michael Lee, wide open look, too strong. Blalock clears the rebound. They get it up to Stinson in a hurry. Now Sullivan, long, tried, not will go. The Stinson chases a long rebound down and is fouled by Dave Paget.
Did you see how far Stinson went to get that rebound? He had the inside rebound in position, still went for the long carry.
Timeout, 7:54 left in what is a great ball game in Ames. Cyclones by 3.
Against number 16, Georgia Tech. Check this out. B.J. Elder playing some tough D on J.J. Redick. They both get into it. A little shoving match ensues. Both benches clear. Robert Brooks came off the bench for Georgia Tech. He was ejected. 17-10. The referees have taken 15 minutes of real time to clear this thing up. Back out to Fred and Split.
Pepper's a little heated in Atlanta today. Game a little heated right here. Shooting the Rock is brought to you by Rolling Rock Beer. Grab a rock. And right now these teams have gotten much better at shooting the rock. Second half shooting has been so much better. Iowa State now up to 39% for the game, and Kansas at 37%. Neither team shot it well at all in the first half.
Iowa State looking to go high-low that time. The battle on the low blocks was Homan working against Jeff Graves of Kansas.
Lob it out front to Homan. Now they give it to Stinson, and he has been terrific in the second half at attacking the bucket. Sullivan defended by Lankford. They have defended Sullivan very well today. Blalock, Stinson.
Perimeter defense will be so important for both these clubs the rest of the way. Giddens on Stinson.
Stinson off the lane. Shot good.
Wow, so quick on that first step. The separation that he got on Giddens made that shot possible.
5-point lead to Iowa State, their biggest of the day. 12 points in the second half for Stinson. Look at the points in the paint today. Iowa State with a huge margin. 12-point margin, 30-18.
Cyclones continue to play the defense, but now they go man-to-man.
Bryant Nash the miss, and a tough battle for the rebound. Lankford got a hand on it and was fouled. Phillips 66 is proud to be the presenting sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Be sure to stop by your local Phillips 66 station and fill up with quality Pro Clean gasoline only from Phillips 66, the performance brand. 6:58 to play in this game. Iowa State with a 5-point lead. They lob it to Lankford, and he stuck it. 17 points for Keith Lankford now in this ball game, and 7 rebounds. And there's a mishandle at the other end. Kansas gets it back, down by 3. Lob to Graves. Jeff Graves has 5. What a feed off from Lankford. Now it's a 1-point ball game with 6:30 to play, and they're going to get Jackson Vroman back in the game with his 4 fouls.
Aaron Miles is the guy leading the Kansas Jayhawks back now. He's not getting it done by scoring points, but he's getting it done by lead passes to his teammates.
Iowa State has called a timeout here. They're going to put Jackson Vroman back in the game with 6:22 to play. He has 4 fouls, and he sparked this second half comeback. Now let's take a look at our assist leader, brought to you by Cargill. Collaborate, create, and succeed. Aaron Miles leading the Big 12 with 48 assists on the year coming in. Jay Jackson, terrific freshman.
Yeah, you talk about freshmen getting it done in this conference. Jay Jackson, about as steady as any freshman playing. Of course, Matt Simien, one of the few holdovers for Baylor.
Well, there are some freshmen in this league, Paul. You mentioned before in conversation, it seems like everybody has 2 freshmen starting for them this year.
Well, we see a couple of them for Kansas. We see 2 of them important roles for Iowa State. Blalock and Curtis Stinson leading the way for the Cyclones here this afternoon. Kansas State has a couple of them. Missouri got one of theirs hurt. Plays out with a separated shoulder. There have been some separated shoulders in the league this year. Kevin Bookout has a separated shoulder.
Damien Staple. Now Sullivan, now Blalock. 17 on the shot clock. Iowa State up by a point. 6:12 to play. Blalock, Stinson. Giddens comes out to cover him. 9 on the shot clock. Stinson going to work.
They'll get to know each other pretty well over the next 4 years, those 2 guys.
Stinson's shot missed. He goes back to get the rebound and pulls it out of there and is fouled by J.R. Giddens of Kansas. Well, Stinson just keeps working and keeps working and keeps working.
Well, he competes about as well as anybody you're going to see, and he does it game in and game out for the Cyclones.
5:59 to play now. Iowa State by 1. The lob outside to Blalock. He goes with Aaron Miles now. At the top of the circle. Blalock bounce past Sullivan. Stop. Jake Sullivan with the trade. His 12th point of the day.
That's the toughest shot he's taken here this afternoon. Keith Lankford was dead in his face.
4-point lead. Iowa State. 5:35 to play. Inside they go to Graves on a foul as Jackson Vroman hit the deck. Well, listen to the crowd. There's 4 fouls on Jeff Graves now.
All the action will be away from the basketball right there. Graves has Vroman sealed behind him, asking for the ball from the guard. The ball came a little bit too late. The push was there. The clear out by Graves. That evens things up out front.
5.5 to play. Iowa State has a 4-point lead in the ball. They put it in the hands of Curtis Stinson, and it's Giddens waiting for him at midcourt.
But I think as much of that has to do with the defender. I think they'd rather have Giddens out front instead of Aaron Miles on Blalock.
Got it inside. Damien Staple converts. And the Cyclones go up by 6 with 5:09 to play.
Their second 6-point lead of this half.
They lob to Simien underneath. And he got a block. Out of bounds to Iowa State with 5 to go. And listen to this crowd.
Kansas has been looking to lob over the top of the Iowa State zone all afternoon, and there's Simien, and there's the help defense from Stinson. They're going right at Vroman. He's got the 4 fouls.
If you don't think there's something to Hilton Magic, you've never been here. Stinson in and out. Strong rebound to J.R. Giddens, and the Jayhawks down by 6. Looking for a bucket.
That's got to be an energizer for the Jayhawks. The tough shooting luck for Iowa State right there. And it gives them new life. An important possession for KU.
They're trying to look in at Simien and Paget, and they're not getting it there. Lankford defended by Sullivan. Giddens. That would have been a huge shot. It didn't go. Paget trying to keep it alive. It's off the glass and out of bounds. Iowa State gets it back with 4:21 to play, and they lead by 6.
Fred, the great battle here this afternoon has been the work inside. Check out post play inside. Simien trying to set the pick, and then a little bit of a roll. Vroman pushing him underneath the basket where he can't get rebound position. Ball goes out of bounds.
59-53 Iowa State. Trying to pin Kansas with their first loss of the conference season. The Jayhawks came in here 5-0 and ranked number 12 in the country. Down low it goes. Jackson Vroman blocked by Paget. Vroman got it back. 14 on the shot clock. Now 12. Jake Sullivan. That's a long try. Stuck it. Oh! Jake Sullivan
gathered himself quickly. That was not a great pass to set and shoot. He's hot now.
15 for Sullivan. Look at this crowd. This arena is on fire. 9-point lead to Iowa State with 3:51 to play. Let's take you to that bell in Studio 66 as we have the break.
Fred, thank you. Since that fight, it has been all Duke Blue Devils. Chris Duhon, the lob to Daniel Ewing. That is so pretty. And Duke now has outscored them 9-0 since that fight. It's 21-18, 8:20 to play first half. Back out to Ames.
We are back. 3:51 to play. Jake Sullivan with that three just ignited this crowd. He now has shot 13 threes in this game, the most of his career. He's hit 5 of them after a very dismal start. He was 2 for 9 in the first half. He's 3 for 4 in this half ball.
Well, that is certainly turning the ball game around right now for Iowa State as they stretch their lead. His last 2 threes that he's taken have been the most difficult that he's taken all afternoon, and he buried both of them.
Boy, some atmosphere here in Hilton Coliseum right now. Now Iowa State with a very serious bid for the upset going. Look at the 3-point field goals. Iowa State in the second half after shooting 17% in the first half. Jake Sullivan's come out and hit 3 out of 4 and just ignited this crowd. And a huge possession coming for KU. They are down by 9. They've got to go. 3:51 to play.
The thing that Kansas had going for him is Aaron Miles is playing extremely well over the last few ball games. He will lead the charge for the Jayhawks, handling it up front and setting up his teammates.
Aaron Miles, 68% free throw shooter. And Kansas needing every point they can get.
Now an important possession ball game for Kansas the rest of the way. They've got some ground to make up. You can be sure that Iowa State will use all the game clock that they can when they get to the other end.
A miss. And Jackson Vroman with the rebound. Stinson has 15 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists for this team, and he's got the ball in his hand right now to the baseline, drops it inside to Homan, and he's fouled. Stinson's just taking this thing over.
Stinson doing a good job of stepping out around the show that Pageant put up there. A 3-on-1 as he takes the dribble drive. Give it up to Homan. He's strong enough to finish. If you chop him right there, he's a good free throw shooter.
Well, I'm thinking when the Iowa State fans said goodbye to Jamal Tinsley left here, they thought it may be a long time before we see one like that again.
That was 2 years.
They're looking at one right now. Boy, what a player he is.
And he comes from the same part of the country. He's out of Bronx, New York.
8-point lead, Iowa State. Homan to shoot the second after missing. He has a dozen points here today, does Garrett Homan, and 8 rebounds and 6 blocks. Now the miss, and KU's breathing. They're down by 8, 3:27 to play.
Still a 3-possession ball game for Kansas. Plenty of time, but you can't make any bad plays here. And Miles looking inside. Iowa State looks like they're going to force him to shoot from the outside. They want to take away the paint area.
Shot won't fall. Homan, tough rebound, and he got it. So KU with a big miss. And Blalock saying, let's go slow for a moment here. 3:04 to play.
Clock starting to become the friend of the Cyclones. Nobody looking inside for Iowa State. They've got some time to kill.
15 on the shot clock, 2:51 left in the game.
Well, one time left offensively. You don't want to get cautious. You still want to attack when it's time to go.
Oh, Stinson. Oh, Curtis Stinson. He may have traveled, but he got the bucket. No travel call.
He is so good. He is so good at splitting the defenders.
Long bucket and a big one for Kansas from Keith Lankford. He has 20 points in this ball game. 7-point lead, Iowa State, 2:22 to play.
Lankford has great balance to his game here this afternoon because we know he's great on the dribble drive. This afternoon he's got the long-range shot working as well.
How about this freshman guard now, Blalock? Match set with Stinson. 18 on the shot clock. To the bucket, Blalock blocked down in there by Simien. Out comes Aaron Miles making a run at Vroman. They got it down low to Hawkins, and the shot won't fall. Miles gets it back. Looked like Hawkins had one in the rim, and now Simien. And count the bucket. They're going to call it goaltending and a foul. That's big for Kansas there within 5 with 1:54 to play.
Well, they get the points. They also get foul number 5 on Vroman. They're going to call goaltending. Official makes this call. He's got to be absolutely sure that goaltending took place. Kansas making the plea for the call. The outside official, Eddie Jackson, made the call.
Timeout here, 1:54. Looks like Iowa State may have called a 30. Iowa's PN Plus game is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of the 2004 Phillips 66 Big 12 basketball tournament. You can count on Phillips 66 quality Pro Clean gasolines. By Cooper Tire, proud to be the official tire of the Big 12 Conference. Cooper Tires, don't give up a thing. By Shelter Insurance, for your insurance needs, visit shelterinsurance.com to find the shelter agent near you. Seek shelter today. By Whataburger, just like you like it. And by Infiniti, makers of the QX56, a full-size SUV coming in February 2004. Well, what a day here in Ames. The Cyclones up by 5. Wayne Simien will shoot a free throw to try to get KU within 4. Then they're going to need a stop. 1:54 to play.
Unfortunately for Iowa State, that foul did not go on Vroman, so he still has but 4.
Simien makes it a 4-point ball game. He has 10. And now we have a stoppage in play here with 1:54 left in this game. Close ball game. Cyclones by 4 over KU, and they'll have the ball when we come back. In Coliseum in Ames, here's what we got left. Iowa State up by 4 with 1:54 to play. Cyclones with a 16:30 left. Kansas out of timeouts. And here's our Cooper Tire Defensive Player of the game.
Well, Jared Homan has had another super day. He has a half a dozen blocks in the ball game, 9 rebounds, also has 1 steal. So he's 1 rebound away from a double-double here this afternoon. 1 rebound, 4 blocks away from a triple-double.
He's already had 3 double-doubles this year. Now Iowa State with the ball, full court pressure. Blalock gets it to Stinson. Kansas backs off. 1:49 to play. Now Lankford comes up to get Stinson. 64-60 Cyclones. They've got the ball with 24 to shoot.
When they had a 9-point lead, it wasn't important to score points, just kill time. They're going to need more points than 64 to win this one here today.
16 to shoot, 1:34 to play. Stinson against Lankford. Now Sullivan. Short floating jumper off the rim, and the rebound to Kansas. Here come the Jayhawks down by 4. Aaron Miles with 1:20 to play.
Plenty of time for Kansas, but they cannot waste a possession. See if they continue to look over the top of that Iowa State zone.
Kansas with all that great poise. It'll be tested now. Miles Paget. 15 to shoot, over the top to Simien, and he's fouled. Stops the clock with 1:05 to play. Simien just hit an old-fashioned 3-point play. 2 for 2 on the line today. Homan's 4th foul now. He wasn't in trouble for a long time, but now he and Vroman both have 4. 1:05 to play. That could be important, especially if it goes to overtime.
Simien, a good free throw shooter on the season.
Simien can make it a 2-point ball game now. 64-61 Iowa State. 70 points for Kansas makes the difference, as you can see there. They're 13-0 when they score 70, 0-3 when they don't. Simien's second free throw won't fall, and Homan drags down a big board.
Iowa State got a good shot, the little runner from Jake Sullivan the last time down. Be patient, but still need another good shot.
Blalock in the lane to the corner to Sullivan. Outside to Blalock. 20 to shoot, 48 left in the game. Iowa State up by 3 at the moment. It's a 1-possession game. Now 14 on the shot clock. Blalock against Hawkins. 9 on the shot clock. 37 left in the game. Blalock working hard. Stinson puts it on the floor. Goes to the rack. Huge bucket. 14 for Stinson in the second half. Iowa State by 5 with 25 to play. You talk about guts. Long try, Lankford, no. Iowa State has it with 18 seconds to play. Stinson in backcourt, double team, finds Sullivan. And Lankford fouls Sullivan with 11.5 seconds to play. Look at the crowd. Look at this crowd. State up by 5.
Stinson on the drive, and check out the post player with the seal off. Homan sees the lane is there. He clears it. Great finish by the first-year player Stinson.
And Jake Sullivan, the leading free throw shooter in the Big 12, knocked that one down. 6-point lead to Iowa State. 16 points for Sullivan. Kansas will try to get it to Lankford. Miles. Hawkins. Sullivan. 11.5 seconds to play. 7-point lead, Iowa State, and again, this crowd roaring in Ames. Boy, how many times has KU brought a good club in here, and Iowa State has sent them home with a loss.
Kansas has a 5-game winning streak against Iowa State. Beat them 3 times last year. Before that, Iowa State had won 5 straight against KU.
Well, there have been so many memorable games in this arena.
Wayne Morgan talking to his club about identify the 3-point shooters that are on the floor for Kansas. Keith Lankford has had a good day from long range this afternoon. Hawkins is a pretty good long-range shooter. And, of course, you've got Aaron Miles. Kansas tried to pound the ball inside most of the day. They'll need long-range shots right now.
11.5 seconds to play in a 3-possession game for Kansas. They need a near miracle to pull it out. Miles hustles up court. 7 to play. Long three on the rim. No. Huge rebound to Jared Homan, his 11th rebound of the day. He has another double-double, his 4th of the year. It's over. Iowa State has knocked off Kansas 68-61. What a win for the Iowa State Cyclones here today. They hand Kansas their first loss of the conference season. So the win to Iowa State. Let's get you now to Doug Bell in Studio 66.